born and raised here in Fort McKay. Growing up here, we're very strong on our traditions. My family's been here for generations, and we've always kept close to the land, to the water, rivers, lakes. The Red River, the McKay River, is very important to our community. A lot of people used it to travel, to trap, to hunt, to fish, and to gather medicines.
Historically, the Red River has its name because it is kind of so iron stained. It's kind of tea-like in color. Usually you see that when you have a lot of organic acid.
When we were growing up, everything was nice. Everything was nice and fresh, and everybody get along good and have respect for each other. And we had our fresh, nice water, everything, our fish, our moose meat, our berries. And sometimes people, they go fishing there, and we go in the brits and be jumping out of there, diving, and because the water was nice and clear.
Working with the Fort McKay Métis Nation since 2020. We started working with the community initially through the oil sands monitoring program to try to inventory all their Indigenous knowledge that was related to groundwater and groundwater surface water interactions.
When I was young, I remember the river the water levels used to be quite high and quite stable, and they never used to get as low as today. And that's one of the big changes I've noticed myself, and I've been told over the years that keeps changing.
What are the community's concerns for the Red River?
The main concerns the community have about the river is pollution and the water level. There's a lot of bitumen and tar in it.
Right now we're collecting port water samples. We'll sample it for a variety of analytical water quality sampling tests.
We set up their groundwater and surface water monitoring program in a way that will be kind of addressing community concerns. We could talk to the elders and hear their descriptions about vegetation that they thought would be an indicator of groundwater discharge, or how they use the water while we were collecting surface water and while we were trying to collect groundwater. So I think it was a really useful experience for the Western scientists to hear firsthand kind of these descriptions about how they would use the water and resources in each of the areas we were sampling. So groundwater surface water interactions have a big impact on aquatic habitats and the health of the river.
Well, certainly this year we've had an above average freshet, and the snowpack was really high, so there's a lot of water still coming through the system, and certainly from down south. And the other aspect is the region has had a lot of forest fires, which would affect the ability of the landscape to absorb water, and that would ultimately lead to increased runoff and higher water levels also.
Having a proper flow of water in the rivers and a stable amount was very important because it helped us thrive throughout the year to do all the traditional practices that we've been doing.
According to my grandmother, we used to have clams that we could eat here, and people could fish, and swim, and wash their clothes in the river back before everything industry. But now we can't because they're too polluted, and there's tar and bitumen everywhere.
So how do you pass on the cultural knowledge from one generation to the next?
It's very important to our community and to our people that we know the teachings and know the knowledge of the land and the rivers, and that's how we keep our tradition strong and our knowledge strong. They're all interconnected. It's all part of our culture. The Métis way of life and culture was made here. All those things come together because it's more than just the hunting, trapping, and fishing and stuff. It's being connected as a community, being connected to our spirits, and being connected to the land itself in a spiritual way.
I think they're definitely ahead of a lot of other communities. They've been very proactive in initiating their own monitoring and initiating their own Indigenous knowledge collection.
I think it's important that we're able to monitor that ourselves because, we have our baselines and, those changes are coming through. We're able to express those changes and express them to, government, industry, and let them know, hey, these are the changes that we see and we need to do something about it. And I think it's something that other nations, should start expanding on because it's important to your community. It's important to your lifestyle, your culture, your tradition, and it's something that keeps you close to the land also and close to the water. I try to teach my son everything I was taught growing up because my dad did the same thing with me, right? He taught me everything I know. He taught me how to fish, how to hunt, how to trap, and these are traditional teachings that we need to keep for generations and we need to keep passing on.